Yo guys, my name's GhostX, and today I've got my second episode of the new Battlefield 4 weapon guide series. And we have started off with the assault rifles category. And the last episode I did the AK-12 because that's unlocked by default on Battlefield 4. So next we've got the first unlocked assault rifle, which is the Scar H. So first of all, I'm going to give you some background into the real version of this rifle. So the real Scar H is developed by F&H, which is FN Herzl in Belgium, and the weapon is the heavy variant of the Scar family, which is a series of assault rifles developed by FN Herzl, and the Scar H is the heavy variant, which is what the H stands for in Scar H. Now the Scar is also a acronym in itself. Scar stands for Special Forces Combat Assault Rifle, and the Scar H is probably the most used widely around the world out of all the Scar weapons. The Scar H is designed specifically for the Special Operations Forces of America, like the Navy SEALs and Delta Force. So this weapon has made an appearance in a previous Battlefield game. This was in Battlefield 3 as well. But in Battlefield 4, it's much more polished. It looks more realistic. The reload animation makes more sense. I think the whole gun as a whole is more realistic. So in terms of performance and stats, the Scar H is as you would expect it, as you've seen it in previous games like Call of Duty. It does have its trademark slow rate of fire and high power. So in that regard, it's very similar to the AK-12 in terms of performance. You could say this is pretty much the US equivalent of the Russian AK-12. It's very similar, albeit it's got the RAS rail system on it. It's more looks and personal preference, rather to which is better between the AK-12 and the Scar H, because they are very similar weapons. That's why they're unlocked so close together. The Scar H I find more useful to use in the AK-12. Maybe it's personal preference, but I prefer to put an optic on the Scar H and I prefer to put an optic on the AK-12. Due to the AK-12's design, I don't really like the rail mount, and it just looks a bit off when you put an optic on a AK series rifle. But on a Scar variant, it looks like part of the weapon. It's flush with the weapon. It looks like an optic belongs on the weapon because of the top Picatinny rail. It definitely works with optics, whereas I prefer to just use the iron sights on an AK-12. Despite my last video using a Coyote reflex sight on it, because personally I think that's probably better if you want to do better with that weapon. But if you're more into like the way your weapon looks, then I would just put iron sights on it. But with the Scar H, I think this weapon looks good with whatever you put on it because of that rail system. It really does suit any attachment. As you can see, I got the iron sights here and a laser sight. I didn't want to put too much on it because the weapon will get bulky and you won't be able to see it as well. So I just put the smallest amount of attachments I could on this weapon so I could show it off a bit. And I've obviously got that new quick reaction camo you get as a Battlefield 4 premium member. So in this gameplay, we're on a wave breaker from the new Naval Strike maps. I'll be showing off the Naval Strike maps in each of the weapon guides gameplay videos I do on each weapon until Battlefield 4 Dragon's Teeth comes out, and that's expected in June sometime, possibly June 3rd, so we can look forward to that, and I'll be definitely doing some Dragon's Teeth videos when that comes out. So anyway, the Scar H is a very, very good weapon. When you compare both the Scar H and the AK-12, they're both weapons you unlock very early on in the assault rifle category, and the rest of the assault rifles are more high rate of fire, close quarters weapons, whereas the first two, the AK-12 and the Scar H, are more for long to medium range. I really think they suit the assault rifle name more, and I think these are probably better to use in the later unlocked assault rifles, which is a bit of a shame considering you put a lot of progression into the game to get worse assault rifles at a later rank. But if you're new starting to Battlefield, then that's really good news for you because you can get good weapons right from rank 1 pretty much, and it doesn't take that long to rank up with the assault rifle class, or more particularly the AK-12, to actually unlock the Scar H. It's very easy to unlock and it's a very good weapon. So yeah, that's it now guys. My next video will be on the next weapon in the assault rifle category going down from the list. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you've learned a bit more about the Scar H in this game. And yeah, I'll see you on my next video, guys. GhostX out.